And finally, we have updates about the Street Fighter movie. It's happening after the intro. I'll tell you everything. Hang tight. Hello, Pop Culture Society. We're back. Let's talk about Street Fighter. The next one on the list, right after Mortal Kombat was released directly on Home Box Office Max and all, we can't really tell if the box office was good or not, but there's a sequel. There's going to be a sequel now, Mortal Kombat 2, and let's see how that goes. Even so, Legendary Pictures has already rushed to get the rights. The movie is being produced together with Capcom. Capcom is directly involved in the production, ensuring respect for the original material. It's not the first time we've had a Street Fighter movie. In 1994, we had Street Fighter written by Steven Reed Souza. He also wrote the Schwarzenegger movies Commando and The Running Man, so he knows what he's doing. For catchphrases. And Street Fighter was that kind of craziness. It was that madness with Van Damme at the height of his success. That craziness went down in history as an expensive movie at a time when video games were just anything. Video games were cheap licensing to make movies for kids, and nobody really cared about making a movie with quality, seriously aiming for some box office. It's a movie that made some noise. At the time, it generated a video game. By the way, the motion capture of Van Damme was done for this video game. Van Damme, who didn't do motion capture for Mortal Kombat, he was supposed to be Johnny Cage, right? He decided to do it for his own Street Fighter video game. That game also turned out pretty bad, but it existed, and there was that movie. And let's remember that The Legend of Chun-Li also happened. There was an attempt to make a series of origin movies about the Street Fighter characters, since each one has their own story, and the Chun-Li movie was a total failure. It was that girl from Smallville. She was Lana Lang, and after that we never had another Street Fighter movie. But now it's coming back, because now the video game has become a gold mine. It's a source of ready-made ideas and stories, with characters already created that you just need to license and make the movie, and it'll have a decent box office. It's true that a lot of bad video game movies are still made today, but we've had several successes too. Super Mario Bros., for example, had a movie that, well, compare it to the Super Mario from the 90s, right? $1 billion. Sonic's fourth movie continues the franchise's box office success. We also have Minecraft itself. Minecraft, released this year by the same Legendary Pictures that's making Street Fighter, came close to $1 billion. It's still showing in theaters. It even looks like it might reach billions of dollars. I don't think so, but even so, just surpassing $900 million in a video game movie, if someone from the 90s saw this, they'd be amazed, because back then it was a smaller kind of movie. It was a story for kids. Nobody took it seriously before, but now they do, and it's making money. So I think this Street Fighter movie is likely to be better than the one from 94, right? It might even be pretty cool. It's nostalgic, right? All those unique, crazy characters with their distinct styles. And we already have some names being speculated for the roles. We don't know what roles these are, but we have 4 names here that, according to Deadline, are being considered for the movie. We can take a look here and try to speculate which characters these might be. Starting with Andrew Koji from Bullet Train. Andrew Koji, if you look at his face, it's not too hard to figure out which character he could be, right? Especially the main ones. He looks just like Ryu. I think it's going to be Ryu. Yes, I think Ryu's going to be there. That's the good thing about Street Fighter, right? Each character is from a different country. Each character has an ethnicity. There's been diversity from the very beginning. So there won't be that concern of, oh, we're trying to be diverse. Oh, our cast isn't diverse enough. Let's change the ethnicity of these characters here just to check a box. That won't happen, because, man, there already has to be an Indian. There already has to be a Japanese. There already has to be a Chinese. There has to be, and then we're going to have a cast. I don't think they're going to stray from that. They're not going to pick a guy who isn't, for example, Indian to play an Indian. They'll look for an actor, at least with that ancestry. So I think Andrew Koji Ryu is the best choice, even if you think about the main characters, because Street Fighter has a ton of video games, a ton of characters. Since Street Fighter 1 released in '87, there have been 55 million video games sold. That's a lot. 2 was the one that was most successful. So let's try to focus here on the characters from 2, from the Champion Edition, even from the later versions of 2 that came with new characters. Besides Andrew Koji, we have him, the life of the party, Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa considered for Street Fighter. Let's think that he could be a big guy, right? Maybe suddenly he could be Zangief, the Russian fighter. He could be T-Hawk, but he's not a Native American, right? He's not Native American, so that likely won't work. What other big guy could it be? Man, you know who I wanted Momoa to be? I wanted Momoa to be Blanca. But Blanca is Brazilian, but he's not really Brazilian. He's a naturalized Brazilian because he fell from a plane. He's Jimmy. He's American, if I'm not mistaken. And it could suddenly be Momoa. It could be Momoa. I think Momoa would make an excellent Blanca. Put some cool makeup on him, some computer-generated imagery to enhance it. And he has that kind of profile, you know, kind of funny, kind of exaggerated, really over the top and all. I think it fits Blanca, man. He would look awesome. I think Momoa would make a great Blanca. We haven't had a movie representation yet. A decent Blanca could be Momoa's chance. To prove himself, Momoa, who's also in Minecraft, right, with the same legendary pictures. So Jason Momoa is also being considered for Street Fighter. What's the next name? Noah Centineo. Noah Centineo, American Teen Idol, is also going to be in the movie according to this rumor. They're trying to sign Noah Centineo, who got really buff to play Esmagatum. He trained there with Dwayne Johnson, worked out his glutes, got really buff. He was already buff to play He-Man. He was going to be He-Man before Galazzini. He was going to be He-Man, but ended up dropping out. So maybe we'll have Noah Centineo in the movie. Who could he play? A young guy, American. I think he could be a good Ken, a good Guile. He could be Vega, the Spanish guy with the claw. He could, because he has that sex symbol vibe. Maybe it would look cool. I can't really imagine anyone else. Looking at his face, I think Ken would work because his eyebrows are thick and Ken also has thick eyebrows. Just give him a blonde wig. He planned to wear one for his He-Man role anyway. I think Noah Centineo could be Ken. It works. For me, in my head, it works. And finally, we have Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is a former wrestler. He comes from American wrestling, those professional wrestlers who become actors. We have many examples. David Batista is one. John Cena is another one. And now we have this guy here. To be a wrestler, we have only one wrestler among the main Street Fighter characters, which is Zangief. Sometimes he's the Russian. He looks like Zangief. For me, he's already cast. That's why they want the guy Zangief, right? Because I dream of seeing it. So I think it's good for Roman Reigns to be Zangief. Alright, I have these four now. The four bets I have. First, Ryu, Blanca, Ken, and Zangief. And you? Do you have other names for this amazing cast that's being formed for Street Fight? Are you taking this movie seriously? Do you think it's going to be good? So, what do you think is going to happen in this movie? I want you to make a list for me. In order, okay? In this same order here, look, Andrew Koji, Jason Momoa, Noah Centineo, and Roman Reigns. Put all four there. Who do you think could be, respecting, of course, the roles they could play? We're not going to turn Akuma, for example, into an American. It's not going to happen. There's no point in forcing it like I want Momoa as Akuma. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Yeah, let's see what's up. I'm curious to know who's going to play who. It looks like the names are pretty impressive. That's it. I wanted to discuss our expectations for the Street Fighter movie. I'll return shortly with another pop culture subject. After the event, some channel options will appear for you to click and stay with me a bit longer. See you later. Bye.
Amen.